Hi, I'm Hartley. We are filming live from Cheney's Vaults, and welcome to Riffs,
Myths
and Memorabilia.
REGTG.
GTA.
What? GTA?
GTA. Good to go.
That's GTG.
GTG. Yes.
It's not good here, have we?
No, it's Grand Theft Auto.
Maybe we need 5 balls, that Clapham ball.
Referring to.
Yeah, I think that's from learning chords. That one came from learning chords in the early days.
That was it, yeah. The clues are there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, of course, we're talking about the Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones. The Stones.
The whole point, Albert, about the memorabilia on this myths and memorabilia is that it's to feature memorabilia. It might not be relevant to what we're talking about in terms of myth. It might not be relevant to what we're talking about in terms of a riff. But we thought it would be a good idea for you to see some of the memorabilia that I've amassed over many years. And one of the pieces here is, I think, an extremely interesting one. It's probably one of the earliest signed photographs I've ever seen of the Rolling Stones. And both Bill Wyman and Charlie Watts signed their full names in a fountain pen. Now, Charlie Watts, if you look at his signature in latter years, or certainly early years, was just a scribble. I would never have known that it was Charlie Watts signing that as it did. But here, you can read it very clearly, which I think makes it a pretty special piece.
Yeah, that's interesting.
All right, let me just take you through a few close-ups of some bits we got here. Starting off with this really broody photo. Look at the broodiness. I can't get over the broodiness. Not sure when Jules Holland snuck into that one either, but there you go. Nice programme here. Big lineup there, lots of support, and a special guest of the Hollies, sponsored by Ryanair on the left there. Now this one is amazing. This is a massive programme signed by all the guys, as you can see. It actually opens out to a huge collage of the band. I think that's really, really cool. Actually makes me think. So Ronnie and Keith have this approach to guitar they call weaving, whereby neither guitar takes the lead, and they can kind of drop in and out when they like. They get it from like a tapestry, you know, who did the red thread, who did the blue thread, and they've been known to say, well, we like to actually get confused ourselves as to who's playing what. So it's an interesting approach to writing music, but it's obviously worked given the longevity and the colossal status of the band. Another really cool photo album here. Really nice pics over the years. On the right there, you can actually see Daryl Jones, who's their long-serving bass player. He's been playing bass as a session musician for over 30 years now. Not quite sure why he hasn't earned his stripes as a full-time member of the band, but there you go. And lastly, some really cool photos here, sort of quite early days, I would say, and all framing some more wonderful signatures. Really, really cool collection. And right, now we're going to get on to the pièce de résistance, which I think is pretty amusing.
So this other photo you've got here is that's a pretty risky thing to be doing for the time.
That was very risky, and again, I think that was 1968. Possibly getting rid of the satanic image.
Right, okay, that's interesting.
Let's dress up in drag.
Yeah, go completely the opposite way.
Because you know, look at Queen, who did that thing with Freddie Mercury with the Hoover. The Stones did this years before, where they all dressed up as people from Coronation. Well, they look like they Coronation Street. But very brave thing to do.
Yeah.
And you know, this is not something that pops up much, but it's a great photograph.
And you're right, it's like, it's pre-Queen, it's pre-Bowie, it's pre any of that sort of like, let's get a bit fruity with the wardrobe thing. They are very much making a statement there.
Fruity with the wardrobe thing. I love that one. That's a great one. So I think that was pretty brave, and they should be given credit for that because, you know, forget everybody else. They were out there dressing up as women, putting on makeup long before David Bowie and Mark Bolan. A myth actually about the Stones. Quite an interesting one. Falling back on the ultimate.
Ultimate. I've done that thing again. Ultimate.
Stones felt that they really missed out on Woodstock and thought they would throw this together, and all the venue was changed at the last minute, and the Hells Angels were brought in to bring the security, and as we all know, Meredith Hunter was killed during, and this is the myth for you. Was it during Sympathy for the Devil? Because there was in fact a lot of rumours flying around that the Stones were satanic, which was Satanic Majesty's request, and that it was dabbling a bit, they were much darker than the Beatles. And of course, there was this rumour that Meredith Hunter was killed during the performance of that particular number.
Like a sacrifice.
And in fact, as a result of that rumour, the Stones didn't play it live for another 5 years.
5 years?
Yes,
Wow.
and that was the death of the Summer of Love. Without, okay, it's a year later, okay, for the keyboard warriors, but that really killed that sort of frothy love, peace, harmony scenario with music. I think Ultimate was like the devil rearing its head.
Yeah, I think, especially being a musician myself, if someone, trying to put myself in the place of someone dying at one of your gigs or festivals or something, that would traumatise you. And I think it's probably a PR thing as well, whereby they went, well, Sympathy for the Devil, you sacrifice it. No, we can't play that because we don't want to adhere to this whole thing. That'll ruin our reputation, that'll ruin the band.
Sure, they had to let the dust settle.
Exactly.
And there was lots of dust at Ultimate.
Lots.
Right, that'll do for that. Thank you very much. And it's bye from us.
Comment, subscribe, do all that nonsense. Yeah, right, see you later.